Why aren't more countries in the Arab world sympathetic to what's going on in the war in Gaza? Check out this clip over here where a discussion about Islam and radical Islam is being talked about at the Palm Beach Synagogue. So we'll watch this clip together and then talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
There are no doubt many Muslims in the West living legally in the countries in which they reside, following the laws, but nevertheless devoted to the overthrow of Western values. How do we deal with that? I have seen discussions that they quietly feel they will win the demographic battle, and then legally, democratically proceed to take over the West. How should we think about that?
Well, first of all, that's happening because you have to go to certain neighborhoods in places like Sweden, France, parts of Germany, Italy, to see that this sort of replacement has occurred. And if you go to these places, there is an informal law, a parallel society. So how do we deal with it? That's the big head scratcher. I am a classical liberal. I do not believe in forcing people, rounding people up and forcing them out of the country. In many cases, even that's impossible because they are citizens who are born in these countries and raised in these countries. So I think the only options that we are left with are the options of developing a counter-narrative and a counter-propaganda and being just as active as they are, with the hope and the optimism that our ideas are in many ways more attractive than what people are hearing in the mosques today in France or in England or in New York and Michigan. And we're not doing that. And we're not doing it, and here's where this whole multiculturalism thing comes along. Today, to go forward and say, we're going to have Western civilization taught uniformly on all K to 12, regardless of where you come from, you're going to go through Western civilization, or you're going to go through the history of the Holocaust. To do that, you're going to face opposition from the woke people who are saying you are imposing your white supremacist ideas on these ethnic groups. That's also a fight we have to fight, but that is the nature of multiculturalism. Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you for being so brave and speaking the truth. I hope you can influence many young Muslim ladies. In your opinion, why is Gaza so isolated in the Muslim world? I see them protesting all over the world. I haven't seen one soldier come from Indonesia to help them. That's my first question, why they're so isolated. The second one, in your opinion, why the Israeli Arabs, the citizens of Israel, are so quiet and not willing to fight, not to help Gaza? Could you answer those two questions, please?
I cannot answer the second one. I can't even attempt to answer that second one. On the first one, why are so many, there are 1.5 billion Muslims in the world, why are they not volunteering to go and fight in Gaza? I think that if you look into Islamist literature, what you're going to find is that the inhabitants of Gaza are seen not as human beings, and this is again where embracing death comes into the narrative. They are martyrs. They are considered to be the lucky ones who are, to be killed by the Jews, you go straight to paradise. It's the people of Gaza who have been, you are a baby born in Gaza, and the likelihood of being indoctrinated with the idea that you're going to die killing Jews, that is your fate. You have to ask the question, why is it that Egypt, if Egypt were given a lot of money, the Israeli government is saying, evacuate, get the people of Gaza out. In terms of money, I think we can afford to, the countries that support the mission to destroy Hamas, they can put the money down. All that Egypt has to do is to say, we're going to help evacuate the residents of Gaza. let Hamas be cleared out, and then we can start talking about what to do about that. But the government of Egypt is not going to do that because, as the president of Egypt said, that would kill the Palestinian dream. And what is the Palestinian dream? It's from the river to the sea. So no one really wants to do it. I mean, it's all very political, and some of the Arab leaders, they want Israel to quietly get rid of Hamas. But I don't think that they're able to face up to the Muslim Brotherhood and radical Islamists on their own soil. I think that if the president of Egypt today were to say what he really thinks, he would not be president.
Hamas has ruled the Gaza Strip for 20 years. It means any child that has been born in the Gaza Strip in the past 20 years has had a terrible life. Not because of Israel, but because they've been under the indoctrination camp of Hamas. All of their children's programming, all of the movies that they watch, anything that's part of their culture just glorifies dying in the name of their religion and the death to Israel, death to the Jews, death to America, death to all of the things that are not part of their terrorist ideology. And so a child that is born there is doomed to a terrible life, not because of Israel, but because of Hamas. And so as long as Hamas stays in power, all children that are going to be born there are going to grow up with the same ideology, and there'll be continued cycle of violence forevermore. That they'll be indoctrinated from the womb, essentially, that the Jews are bad, that Israel is bad, that America is bad, that the West is bad, all of these things, and they'll flare up and they'll come and they'll attack Israel. Israel will be forced to respond, and we'll be in the same boat over and over again. In order for there to be real and lasting change and real and lasting peace, Hamas and other groups like it need to be removed from power. You can't have peace and peace talks when you don't have a peace partner. And so that has to ultimately be the goal. It's not just a change in, okay, we'll replace Hamas with another terrorist group or another group that's sympathetic to terrorism. It has to be with people that want to live in peace, that aren't glorifying death, that aren't part of a death cult. And until that happens, there really can't be peace in the region. And so the ultimate goal of what's going on in Israel right now needs to be, yes, removal of the hostages, bringing the hostages back home, but also the toppling of Hamas. Hamas has to be left out of power, and any group like it cannot be able to get into power, or you just have the same cycle of violence happening over and over, and it's never going to end, because Hamas and other groups like it, when the first opportunity comes, they're going to do another October 7th and another October 7th. And you know who says that? They do. And so this has to be the ultimate goal of the war. We are not talking about, this is not Jews versus Muslims. This is not Israel versus Palestine. This is a radical ideology that needs to be quashed by all those that believe in civilization. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.